Champions League draw is out, and there is so many interesting storylines, so many interesting games, and what a potential round of 16, quarterfinals, and even a semi-final. But listen, let's talk about everything. Let's talk about the winners. Let's talk about each matchup. Let's talk about potentially who they are going to be facing in the semi-finals, in the quarterfinals, and I'm going to give you my prediction for each matchup. The early prediction before we start. Don't forget to, of course, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and of course, comment your own thoughts. Let's start on the right-hand side of the bracket, which is, of course, this side, which for me is the easier bracket. That's just my opinion. We've got Inter against Feyenoord. This is quite interesting because Feyenoord had just beaten Inter's arch nemesis, neighbours in AC Milan in order to get to the round of 16. And this is the first time they play each other since 2002. Funnily enough, Feyenoord beating Inter in the knockout stage. So the first time they play each other for over 25 years. But Feyenoord, they've just sacked their manager. They've just lost their best player, best striker, goal scorer, ironically enough, to the same team they had beaten last week in AC Milan. But they're going up against someone who isn't AC Milan, who isn't defensive vulnerable, who isn't weak in the midfield in terms of, and who isn't hit and miss up front. They're going against, come on bro, Simeone Inzaghi's team, who's very powerful. So I think for this team, Feyenoord, you've done well to get to this stage, but I do think Inter's, first of all, defense, the midfield, but most importantly, the firepower up front. And I need Lautaro Martinez to actually step up this time around. And I think that will be enough to take Inter into the quarterfinals. Then we've got Leverkusen against Bayern Munich. Two teams from Germany. Two rivals. They've played each other 3 times this season. In the league, 2 draws. In the Cup, Germany, whatever it's in the German Cup, Leverkusen beat Bayern Munich at Allianz Arena 1-0. But to be fair, Neuer got sent off after the first 10 minutes, I believe. But I think, listen, context is very important here. Ever since Xabi Alonso has taken charge of Leverkusen, he has never lost against Bayern Munich. He first took charge 2 years ago, halfway through the season. And bear in mind, 2 years ago, of course, they play home and away. Bayern beat Leverkusen 5-0. That's when Alonso wasn't in charge. Alonso then took over 2 years ago, mid through the season. And in the second game of that season, Leverkusen beat Bayern Munich 4-0. Last season, 2 games, Leverkusen beat Bayern 1 time and drew 1 time. So far this season, they've drawn twice, and of course, Leverkusen beat Bayern in the German Cup. So, bro, out of so far 6 games against Bayern Munich, Xabi Alonso has got a positive record against Bayern Munich. I think he's done well, especially this season, the games that I've watched. He's done well to isolate, even last season, to isolate Harry Kane and Jamal Musiala and the wing. And I think the matchup favours Leverkusen with the wing backs, because I think one thing, in my opinion, of Bayern's struggles is the wings. Something the Celtic did very well with Kuhn and Maeda on the left-hand side. They did very well to expose them. And bro, Bayern was very fortunate to even get a draw at Allianz Arena a couple of days ago against Celtics. So I can't lie. I look at this matchup, early reaction. I do think Leverkusen has got what it takes to beat Bayern Munich, because I don't think Vincent Kompany can out-tactically class Xabi Alonso. Because so far, matchup-wise, I think Leverkusen has that. For that reason, early reaction, I've got Leverkusen going through. Then we'll go with Lille against Dortmund. And I can't lie, this is the part of the bracket right here, part of the bracket which favours Barcelona a lot. Like, if out of all the brackets, 1, 2, 3, 4, Barcelona are the biggest winners, first of all, of the whole Champions League draw. Let's just put it out there. Secondly, bro, bracket-wise is even easier. And thirdly, they managed to get into the right side of the bracket. They avoided the big hitters on the left-hand side and managed to get, I know Inter and Bayern on paper, Leverkusen are good, but they don't compare to the likes of Liverpool or Real Madrid. So they managed to pick the right side of the bracket. First of all, let's talk about Dortmund-Lille. Dortmund, of course, had to beat Sporting in order to get to the round of 16. Lille was already there, progressing after doing very well in the Champions League group stages. But I think for this matchup, it's quite interesting. Lille was, of course, 5th place in Ligue A. Dortmund hasn't done well in the Bundesliga. They sit 11th in the Bundesliga, losing and drawing stupid games. But of course, when it comes to the Champions League, Dortmund has actually done well, beating Madrid, very close to beating Madrid, picking up some important results, even as, of course, going away to Sport and picking up a 3-0. With this one, Lille, to be fair, at the same time, has done very well. They beat Madrid, they beat Atleti, and have done well. But with Dortmund's struggles in the league, but for some reason, it's even last season, like Dortmund struggled in the league, but they still managed to get to the Champions League final, losing against Real Madrid. I've got Dortmund going through. I think Lille has done well, but I think Dortmund in Champions League nights, I think it's a completely different stage. Then you've got Benfica against Barcelona. And Barcelona, of course, this is a replay to what happened literally in December not December, last month. In Jan, bro. This is a replay of what happened in Jan when, of course, Barcelona beat Benfica in the craziest game, in my opinion, of so far 2024-2025 season, when Barcelona beat Benfica 5-4 in an insane game. So much to talk about that game. It was insane. I didn't watch it long. It was a crazy game. Of course, now a rematch. I'm going to be real. I'm going to be so real. Benfica's done well. They've done well to get here. Beating Monaco, the same team that Barcelona failed to beat. But to be fair, Barcelona had 10 men. I've got Barcelona going through. I can't see Benfica beating Barcelona. Yes, Pavlidis has done well, to be fair. Scored a hat against Barcelona. Scored against Monaco. But I do think Barcelona, with the firepower they have, they will beat, of course, Benfica. Then we go on the left-hand side. Paris Saint-Germain against Liverpool. The fact that Liverpool finished first in the Champions League group phase, and the punishment is to get Paris Saint-Germain. Fam, that is insane. Like, imagine finishing first, expecting to get an easy draw, and you get Paris Saint-Germain in the round of 16. Potentially Aston Villa in the quarterfinals. Potentially Madrid in the semi. Oh, bro, that's insane. That is so unlucky. But listen, of course, on paper, the first thing you would say, Liverpool, of course, easy to take it. But let's just put some context into account. Liverpool has, of course, so far this season been the best team in the world. I don't think anyone can argue with that. But at the same time, over the past 4 games, Liverpool has only won 1 game, conceding, in result of that, 6 goals in 4 games. And of course, the loss against Plymouth in the FA Cup, the draws to Everton, and of course, Aston Villa just yesterday. So Liverpool, over the past 4 games, 5 games to be fair, even if you go back now to the loss against PSV and the Champions League, the last group stage, which of course doesn't matter, but still puts it into perspective with they conceded 3 goals, Liverpool has now, over the past month, conceded a lot of stupid goals. Like, defensively, they aren't as strong as how they started the season off, where they barely conceded a goal, where both Van Dijk and Konate and Alisson was there. But now, it hasn't been the case with the past couple of games. On the other hand, you've got Paris Saint-Germain, who's literally scoring goals for fun. 7-0. Bro, they beat Brest 10-0 in aggregate. In the league, they're scoring 5, 6, 7 goals. Over the past 5 Champions League games, they've scored 18 goals. Since November, they've scored about 53 goals. Like, Paris Saint-Germain are on this crazy goal-scoring form. It helps having, of course, Barcelona, who's firing. There's Doué, who's doing well. Ousmane Dembele, peaking at the right age at 27 years old. And of course, the new signing of Kivicha, where Enrique has managed to get them all firing at the right time, at the right point of the season. So it does add an interesting result to this game, where Liverpool has kind of struggled over the past month. But on the other hand, you've got Paris Saint-Germain, who's actually peaking at the right time. So this, for me, is the best matchup of the whole championship so far, with 2 teams. If you asked this 3 months ago, everyone would say Liverpool, because Liverpool was playing at top level, and Paris Saint-Germain, they weren't firing on all cylinders, because, bro, they lost against Atleti. They lost stupid games in the league phase, but they managed to pick it up towards the end, putting them in the right position. Of course, they beat Brest in the playoffs, and now look at them. They are playing literally amongst 3 or 4 of the best teams in the whole world right now. So this is quite interesting. I can't lie. I don't know. I'm going to be real. Early reaction, I have got no idea who wins this game. Because, bro, I look at Paris Saint-Germain. They doing well. Liverpool, I'm going to leave that to the side. Bro, I can't. I don't have an answer as of right now. Then we have Club Brugge and Aston Villa. Aston Villa, of course, did very well to pretty much cement themselves in the top 8. Club Brugge had to go to the playoffs, and they managed to beat one of the favourites in Atalanta who Atlanta did very well again in the playoffs. They beat Atlanta both home and away, beating Atlanta 3-1 in Italy, which is, of course, insane. But at the same time, the reason why I'm going to edge it to Aston Villa is just because of Unai Emery. I think Unai Emery, when it comes to playoffs, when it comes to Champions League, when it comes to European nights, I think he's a complete different beast. I think he's amongst one of the best managers in terms of European nights, because I think the way he plans his team and the way he sets up his team is insane. I think he's 2-3 steps ahead. And for that reason, Club Brugge has done very well to get to the stage, but I do think Aston Villa's got enough firepower to get past him. Then we have the toughest bracket. The toughest bracket. Let's start with Arsenal PSV before we get to, of course, the main event, which is Real Madrid and Atleti. Arsenal PSV. PSV, of course, managing to beat Juve 3-1 to get them to this stage. Of course, they've done well with players like Noah Lang, beating Juve, who, to be fair, Juve start of the season was amongst the underdogs to pretty much have a deep run in the Champions League before Thiago Motta. Of course, when Thiago Motta got announced and they spent over 200 million in different signings, the likes of Q-, the likes of Nico Gonzalez, the likes of Douglas Luiz, and so many other players, but they haven't delivered. Hence the reason why PSV managed to beat them. Then you've got Arsenal, who is in an injury crisis over the past couple months, with both Havertz being out, Martinelli being out, Saka being out. So at the moment, potentially, the game against PSV, I don't think Saka will return. I don't think Martinelli will return. I don't think Havertz will return. So potentially, you've got the likes of Ethan playing, Trossard playing, and I don't know who the hell is going to be playing on the left-hand side. So at the moment, Arsenal is in an injury crisis. But at the same time, I do think what Arsenal have, which a lot of teams right here don't have, is defensively, for me, the most sound. Defensively, they're the most reliable team out of every single team here. I think what Arteta has done, despite the fact that if the goals are not hitting going forward, you best believe defensively, we are as secure as possible. And the likes of Saliba and Gabriel, with now Calafiori coming back, but most important for me, the X factor is not on the right-hand side where Ben White is now back. You've got Timber there. Lewis Skelly, bro. Lewis Skelly is playing crazy, bro. Lewis Skelly on the left-hand side are playing absolutely insane. So defensively, they've got so many options. Even now, if you add the midfield, the likes of Declan Rice, who to me has done very well over the past couple months. Now, if you add into Michael Moreno, who's an X-factor, where can he be the answer to the goals which they need going up front with a set piece? So there's so many interesting results. But I do think Arsenal has got what it takes to beat PSV. And I will edge it to Arsenal. Despite the fact, I do think the first leg will be very important. I think the first leg will be very important because, of course, the second leg will take place at the Emirates. But I think if PSV manages, it reminds me very similar to what last season happened when Porto, of course, beat Arsenal in the round of 16. If PSV managed to beat Arsenal, let's say 2-1, 1-0, it'll be interesting to see what happens to Arsenal and Arteta. Whether he's going to rush Martinelli, Saka and Havertz, because at the moment all three of them are rumoured to come back mid-March, end of March. Sorry, not Havertz. Havertz is out for the whole season. I'm talking about Bukayo Saka. It's going to be interesting to see what happens to Bukayo Saka, because at the moment it hasn't been confirmed when he's back. But if he loses the first leg, is Arteta going to risk him for the second leg? Let's see. But I don't think they will need him. I still think they have what it takes to go past PSV, especially with Ethan, who's been playing. Bro, I think he's number one in terms of his goals to minutes ratio in the whole world, bro. Like he's playing insane. Then we have, of course, the main event. Real Madrid, Atleti. They've played twice this season. Draw. Both games. 1-1, 1-1. And Real Madrid, Atleti, I'm going to look at it in two different ways, two different matchups. First, you have the matchup of Real Madrid facing Atleti in the Champions League, which is always a positive matchup with Real Madrid. You can go all the way back to 2014, La Decima. In the final, we beat them. 2016 Champions League final, we beat them. 16-17 in the semi-finals. I think quarterfinals, Ronaldo scored a hat. 16-17. It was 17-18 when Ronaldo scored a hat and Benzema had that. We beat them. So Real Madrid Atleti in the Champions League is always a mismatch. But then that's another element as well to think about it. Now you have Diego Simeone and Carlo Ancelotti. And Carlo Ancelotti, struggles against Atleti. Atleti is the only team that has managed to get the best number of Ancelotti. Like Ancelotti, when it comes to Atleti, the guy just this is the matchup which I kind of wanted to avoid. I've been making fun online when I say, you know what, give me Atleti, but I can't lie. I'm not happy with this matchup. I'm not happy just because of what I know what we can do in the Champions League, but at the same time, I don't know what Carlo can do with Simeone. And I do think Simeone, when it comes to Carlo, Simeone, for some reason, whenever he sees Carlo, he's licking his lips. He knows he's about to tactically outclass him. And it's been evident, bro. There's been so many games. If you go all the way back to 14-15, Atleti beat us 4 times in that season. 4 times in that season. But ironically enough, 14-15 was also, we played them, I didn't mention it earlier, we played them in Champions League quarterfinals, and we actually beat them in the quarterfinals. So this is what I'm talking about. Despite the fact Carlos struggles against Atleti in the league, when it comes to the Champions League, he's got a positive record. Both 13-14 and 14-15. 13-14, he beat them in the Champions League final, and 14-15, he beat them in the quarterfinals. With a goal from Chicharito, if you guys remember the second leg. The first leg actually ended 0-0. The second leg ended 1-0. So I do think, and now it's different. When we played Atleti beginning of the season, or even 3 weeks ago, I saw positive signs. I saw 30 minutes, because of course we were down. I saw 30 minutes of, all right, cool. I'm now seeing the best version of Real Madrid. And since then, we went on to win, of course. We beat City in 2 legs. And now I'm seeing us peaking at the right time. Like the game 2 days ago, the second leg against City, bro, this is the best version I've seen Real Madrid play this whole season. So at the moment, we are peaking at the right time. I'm seeing Rodrigo playing at elite level. I'm seeing Mbappe playing as the Mbappe that we all know. I'm seeing Vinny finally picking up his form, because he started 2025 so badly with the suspensions, with the missed games, with the bad performances. But now Vinny, over the past 2 weeks, has been playing very well since the second leg against Etihad, the game against Osasuna, which for me he was incredible, and now the second leg against City, he's been playing very well. Then we've got the midfield and Jude Fede now. Fede playing the right back is important for this matchup, because I can't see Samuel Lino going up against Lucas Vazquez. So I think this game, early predictions before, of course, closer to the date, which is fun. Ironic enough, in 2 weeks from now, we play Atleti in 2 weeks, bro. Like the Champions League round of 16, it takes place the first week of March, 3rd of March and 4th of March. But as of right now, early quick prediction, I've got Real Madrid winning. Then it's this quarterfinals. Then is Aston Villa going up against potentially a Paris Saint-Germain Liverpool. And Barcelona going up against either Dortmund or Lille. Like I said to you guys, Barca has managed to get in very, very easy, favourable draw. But for me, this is where it's going to be question marks for Barcelona. Barcelona, I've got them going to the semi-finals. Easy. Then you have, who is it going to be between? Leverkusen or Dortmund? Sorry, Leverkusen and Bayern or Inter? I personally think the semi-final, early prediction, I'm going to see Barcelona versus Inter. I think it's going to be Barcelona versus Inter. And I think it's going to be, I can't lie, Real Madrid, Arsenal. That's going to be interesting. Real Madrid, Arsenal. Yo. SDS. Sharky. Star player. Ilyas. Rinaldi. Hasib. Shaib. I'm going to see all of you guys soon. You guys better make it. Because I'm telling you right now, I really want to face you guys in the quarterfinals. I want it more than anything else. And the biggest advantage, of course, Real Madrid gets is that the first leg is played away from home. And the second leg is being played at Santiago Bernabeu. That game will take place, the potential matchup will take place in April. And by then, I'm sure Bukayo Saka will be back. I'm sure Martinelli will be back. So I'm sure Arsenal will have most of the firepower back by then. But that's if they get past PSV and if we get past Atleti. But I think it's likely, and I think a matchup between both teams will be very interesting. But for me, early prediction, I've got Barcelona in the semis, Inter getting out from this little small bracket. In terms of here, I don't know, bro. Bro, I'm so conflicted between these two. I've managed to think about it. I still don't know who's going to win between Paris Saint-Germain and Liverpool. And with this, I've got Real Madrid getting in past here. But I think Madrid will get to the final. And Barca, Inter, I can't lie, yeah. A part of me feels like, and a part of me is trying so hard. I don't want it. Wallah, I don't want it. That's one thing, bro. I've been watching this sport for long, yeah. That's one thing I have never wanted. But I feel like, and FIFA and UEFA have been trying to do it for so many years. I think they've rigged draws in order to make it happen. And I think this time around, they've purposely rigged it as well, just to purposely put Madrid on one side and Barcelona on the other side. I think they really, 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 really want an El Clasico final. And it never happened in 2012. It never happened in 2014-15. It never happened in so many years, even before then. But I do think this might be the year where the whole world is going to get an El Clasico final. Because, I mean, listen, early, I think it might happen. But listen, put down in the comments what you guys think and what you guys' own predictions are in terms of each matchup specifically and who you guys have got winning from each bracket. Put down, of course, your winners in the comments, whoever you support, whether it's Barcelona, Madrid, Liverpool, PSG, especially if I've got some Paris Saint-Germain audience or Liverpool audience. Who do you guys think is going to win? And is it a matchup that you guys wanted? Because I feel like a lot of Paris Saint-Germain wanted Barcelona and not Liverpool. Because like I said to you guys, these two games, for me, is the best games. I hope. Hold on. Has it been confirmed? Has it been confirmed when it... You know what? Hold on. I'm hoping it's not at the same time as Madrid Atleti. It better not be at the same... bro, this is taking too long. Yeah, well, this is taking too long. I'm just going to find out soon. But yeah, like I said, don't forget to, of course, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'm going to see you again with a lot of Champions League action. Most importantly, we're back with La Liga tomorrow with Barcelona playing in La Liga. And yo, La Liga's tied as well. Both Real Madrid and Barcelona are literally tied on 50 points. Imagine, yeah, Real Madrid and Barcelona will play each other in the final, and they still have to play La Liga, and that matchup takes place in May. Imagine we play them in May, and then 2 weeks later we play them in the Champions League final. My heart can't take it, fam. This channel, bro. No!